Amazon is nearing a deal, Wall Street Journal with the latest report on this language, to acquire MGM Studios for about $9 billion. That would bolster the company's Prime Video library. Of course, they would bring the James Bond brand, among others, in-house with that. And this comes at a time when, of course, media is doing its inevitable and endless cycle of reshuffling, divesting, combining, putting new assets in new homes. The AT&T Warner Media deal from last week, where Warner Media will be spun out, combined with Discovery, kind of a takeover, take under. Some people have called it an acqui-hire of Discovery CEO David Zaslav. So we talked, with CEO John Stankey, AT&T CEO John Stankey, about that deal yesterday. But Sazi, when you look at the potential for Amazon to make this transaction, I guess I would just ask what you think they're after and what it means for MGM, if anything, because I think there's a lot of questions about what Amazon wants from its Prime Video arm, but also questions about what it really needs, considering how Amazon actually makes its money and is certainly not streaming movies and TV shows.
Miles, my analysis is very simple on this, and I think you highlighted this a little bit on our Slack channel last night. We were talking about this. This dollar amount really is immaterial. You go back to Amazon's most recent quarter. They ended the quarter with about $72 billion in cash and marketable securities, so $9 billion is not a big deal. And for them, it boils down to this. You're getting access to a content library that is unlikely to be replicated anytime soon. Rocky Balboa, one of my favorite franchises of all time. James Bond. These are historic franchises with likely a lot more content that could be extracted from them for future generations, in addition to owning all of that library of content that could be shared potentially exclusively on Amazon Video. So this is, from where I'm sitting, looks to be a smart potential acquisition. And I encourage everyone to go on the Yahoo Finance homepage right now. Our deputy managing editor, Erin Fuchs, has a great story. And her headline here is that this deal would make Amazon the king of streaming content, and the deal wouldn't likely get blocked. So that is very good things if you're an Amazon shareholder.
Yeah, and when you're talking about the regulatory environment for Amazon, I think it's also interesting this will be sort of a test of it under this administration versus the prior administration, which, as we know, was very unfriendly to Amazon, both sort of on a professional and on a personal and on a corporate level. So we'll see how that plays out under the Biden administration. But, when you look at Amazon, obviously what makes it unique among the streaming services is that you don't just get the streaming service. You are buying a whole suite of services when you get Amazon Prime and you get Amazon Video. I don't think there are any Amazon Video only subscribers. I think people get Prime and then they get everything. I don't even know if you can just subscribe to the video service. Do you guys know? I don't think you can. I think you just get Amazon Prime and then you get it all, right?
I'm a Prime sub.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have Prime, so.
Right, exactly. That's what everybody has. So I think, it's just very interesting that Amazon wants to throw as much as possible into that subscription. Are they going to raise the cost of the subscription more at some point and then justify it because they're giving you more stuff? I don't know. It doesn't feel that way, does it?
Well, I think a differentiator also between Amazon and some of its other peers here is that the traditional way that you may, again, the whole AT&T and to some extent Verizon, though, we are, of course, significantly smaller than, Warner Media or any of those other assets. But, the AT&T question here and the eternal content distribution question has been that they are different skill sets and that you monetize both of those arms of a business differently. You have different strategic approaches, and that combining them, while it might look good on a strategy deck, just does not tend to work out. And so I do wonder if Amazon sees MGM and says, well, you know what, we'll just collect the royalties and we license this back to Netflix. Maybe Amazon doesn't actually care about Prime Video. Maybe they just like having the library, and the library is the thing that's going to be monetized as we, I think, inevitably combine down to a handful of streaming services that are in the traditional role of a cable distributor, the way that Netflix has been for some time, where they are buying content produced elsewhere, housed elsewhere, licensed elsewhere, and bringing it onto their platform for a fee, and then charging their subscribers a fee to watch it. And maybe Amazon sees it that way. I think it would be a cleaner strategic direction, I think, for Amazon to go to say, yeah, we'll buy bond and we'll collect some royalties on that. And the studio arm will do whatever it does over time. But we're happy with the size of that investment right now. To me, that makes a little bit more strategic sense than, Amazon is going to try to, challenge Disney and 21st Century Fox. I mean, I'm not exactly sure that that's in the cards for them, though they have had quite a few impressive pieces of original content that were developed and created in-house. So, maybe that's another alternative for this deal and a luxury maybe that Amazon has because this is, again, as we mentioned, such a complementary piece of this business, if even one that, has to really, be thought about and part of that portfolio, Julie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is interesting that the tack that the different services will take in terms of whether they're keeping that content exclusive or not. So that, as you propose, the idea of collecting royalties or, charging a fee and letting other services use this stuff is also interesting. We'll see what the willingness is on their part to pay it when they're also spending a lot of money to acquire a lot of different content.
Yeah, I think, we'll see how closely everyone holds their original content versus letting Reed Hastings write them checks every quarter and making their money that way.